The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Jerry the King Lawler from the WWE, and you know, every Tuesday, TrashTalkingRadio.com. You gotta be there. It is the greatest entertainment in the radio and internet world today. Listen, or I'll come at you. Listen up, this is the free hit, Jason Gotti. And if you're not listening to Trash Talking Radio on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., I'm gonna go into your living room and I'm gonna smack the taste out of your mouth.
This is Missy Hyatt, the first lady of wrestling. And on Tuesday night, it's me and Mike Trash. That's right. I listen to TrashTalkingRadio.com every Tuesday night with my favorite host, Mike Trash.
I'm Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, and if you want to know everything about professional wrestling, listen to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday night from 7 to 10.
Hey, this is the Queen of Extreme Francine, and you're listening to my future husband, Mike Trash, on Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday night from 7 to 10 p.m.
This is Bobby Lashley, you're listening to Trash Talking Radio 7 to 10 every Tuesday night.
Ovo je Nikolaj Vukov i ja vam kažem da gledate radio show, da slušate radio show svaki tjedan od 7 do 10 uveče. Sve najviše vas pozdravljam i sve vam želim najljepše. Doviđenja.
This is Trash Talking Radio. It is Tuesday night, and I'm alone. Oh, no. Oh, gotta recenter this since I'm alone. But then I see the white thing over here. I'm not sure what that is, but well, I fixed that with the... I need to go in here and that doesn't do it. Somehow I need to just send it that way, and that'll fix it. Hey, there, we got rid of the spots. Anyway, welcome to the show. Tonight I'm flying solo. Hopefully nobody will hear me. Hey, it's a joke. Alright, let's see. Let's make sure all the streams are working like they're supposed to be. Okay, Facebook is working, apparently. That's good. Alright. And, hey, there's Nietzsche. And let's look here, make sure that this is working as well. The Twitter feed is working. Yes, that looks good. Alright. Pin that there. And let's look for Twitch. Yep, Twitch is working. That's good. And let's check out our good old friends at YouTube. I believe that's working too. Alright, hey, all streams are working, and of course the mix is usually working and still is working, so everything seems to be going pretty good as far as that goes so far. And hopefully I'm not going to be able to see everything at once, but I'll try to catch any comments in the chat room. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I had a tribute I'm going to do, and it was funny because the tribute was finished, and then Nietzsche called in another report, and he happened to do it on the exact thing we were going to talk about. So we're going to talk about his report and the tribute that I was going to do, and still going to do, but it's just going to be better because he added something to it. So, let's get this show started. What do you think? Okay, let me see here. I gotta get our normal background up. I tried something different on the starting of the show, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, but it seemed to work. I just gotta do a change for it for next week. Little by little, it's always getting different. Alright, now we're ready to go. Alright. All right, where do I want to start? I guess I can look at my notes because I forget where I was starting. Let's see here. All right. I wonder if I can make those words bigger. Be nice if I could do that because I can't see half the time. All right, here we go. Of course, there's no movie reviews of. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm really missing the movies. That stuff's ridiculous. And so we got to go without movie reviews once again. However, I will tell you, I saw a couple movies that were really, really interesting this weekend. I saw a movie called. Oh shoot! I forget what it was called. Oh man, I'm blanking out. Hold on, I've got to look it up now. I saw an old movie, and I really liked it. It was pretty darn good, and I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be really hokey because it was a really old movie, but it turned out to be actually. I was very entertained by it, and I'll tell you why in a second. Here, I want to look it up here. It had Charleston Heston, and he was about 45 when he did the movie, and the movie was from I think 1971, and I liked it because it was a lot different from his normal movie. It was called The Omega Man, and my friend and I were kidding around about it, saying, hey, I got to see this movie because it's been like 20, 30 years since I've seen this movie. And I said, well, okay, well, let's check this movie out. And we looked and looked and looked, and we couldn't find it anywhere. And then I finally ended up finding it on YouTube, and it was I have to say, it was pretty good. So it was a little hokey. I mean, I expected it to be because, movies from the 70s and movies from this generation, or, in the 2020 time period, are quite a bit different. As far as technology, plot, the way they act it, all that stuff has really changed a lot since the time period. But I got to tell you, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't really expect it to be that good, but it really actually was pretty entertaining. And I'm gonna bring the picture up here. There's all kinds of YouTube clips on it, but this is the Omega Man, and let me. Whoop, that's our buddy Nietzsche. There, that's not what I wanted. Ah, shoot, Nietzsche, you're all over the place. How did I do this? I gave Nietzsche a number. I gave him 1, I think. I don't want that. That doesn't look good. That didn't look good at all. Okay, so the colors are really messed up here. So, alright, I'm going to have to make myself smaller to do this. Alright. Alright, here we go. We'll do it this way. Alright, so I actually liked this movie, and it turned out to be quite a bit better than I thought it was going to be. And, alright, so, how am I going to do this? Yeah, you can see too much. Okay, so we got to figure out, maybe I can change the lighting a little bit so that we don't look as bad. Oh, that didn't work. That's not too bad. Okay, so the movie was kind of the movie was kind of zombies. It was zombies before zombies, but they weren't really zombies because they were people in the night, and they were really only out at night. So it was an interesting movie, and I really liked the movie. So check it out if you get a chance. I think we paid $2. Not going to break a budget on that, and you'll enjoy it because it's somewhat campy, but yet still somewhat good. And it's all about a virus that attacked the world, and the Charlton Heston played a doctor, and he had the antidote when he was in an accident and all that stuff. But that's neither here nor there. It was pretty good, I think. So that's one movie I saw. And then I saw this movie by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which I really like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And it was called The Postcard Killings. And I actually liked that movie too. That was kind of cool. I watched that Sunday, I think it was. And it was a lot different than I thought it would be. But I love I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's like one of the guys I ever since I saw him on Walking Dead, and then I saw him on some movies with The Rock and stuff like that. I really like the guy now. So yes, the Omega Man. Hi, Melanie. Welcome to the show. And so anyway, that was the movies I saw this weekend, and I saw some pretty. I did see another movie. It was a horrible movie. What was that? Hold on, my battery's running low for some reason. That's a problem. If that shuts down, I'm going to go off the air. I don't want that to happen. Oh, great. Lost my headset. Let's plug the headset back in. Okay, there we are. Now I got to figure out why my... maybe that's why. There we go. Hey, we're back. I mean, I don't think we left, but we... all right, here we go. Hey, Jen Paul. Hey, Alex. Talking movies right now. I'm talking about the different movies I saw this weekend. Trying to remember what the third one was. It was a Netflix movie, and I thought it was going to be good, and it turned out to be kind of bad. Anyway, I'll think of the title. Anyway, time to get going to the show. On with the show. Let the show begin, as they say, whoever they are. And why isn't my mouse moving? I'm having problems with my mouse. I think I'm going to have to put a GoFundMe for a new mouse. For some reason, my mouse is playing games with me. It's not wanting to move like it should. All right. That mouse is working. And that mouse is working. All right, I'll just move this mouse over to the other mouse. And it should work now. There we go. Oh, now, let's start out with the people that have died. We lost a couple people that kind of saddened me, but the people that we lost lived a full life, so I'm not going to be too sad, other than the fact that they died. The first one was Fred Willard. Fred Willard died. That was kind of sad. I've seen him in so many things and was very entertained by him. And I just really was saddened by his leaving us. So, hey, Gregory. All right, so Fred Willard, people said that they were all inspired for their passion of comedy. And he was I've seen him in lots of things. I believe he was also in Modern Family, but I wasn't a big fan of Modern Family, but I saw him in so many things, and I just thought it was interesting. It says actor Fred Willard, who died Friday at the age of 86, brought years of laughter to both small and big screens. Fans may remember him for his roles in Best in Show, Everyone Loves Raymond, Modern Family, and says here his film debut was 1967, Teenage Mother, to his final role in the upcoming Space Force. Willard worked dozens of fellow comedy giants and inspired even more, many of them taken to Twitter to honor and share his life. Ben Stiller said that Willard, they described him as Willard as a brilliant comic and improviser. I believe that. That guy had timing that was really kind of cool. And it said here, he could make anything funny. His work goes down as some of the funniest ever. From Jerry Hubbard on, he inspired and influenced so many people in comedy. So that's kind of cool. Jamie Lee Curtis said that, it says here, they shared a connection because she's married to Christopher Guest. Oh, I didn't know that. I like Christopher Guest. who directed Best in Show and A Mighty Wind, in which Willard starred. How lucky we got to enjoy Willard's gifts. He is with his Miss Mary now. I guess his wife must have died. And Jimmy Kimmel said that Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel tweeted a video of Willard's last appearance. I'm sad to say goodbye to Fred Willard, who is still the funniest man at age 86. Steve Martin, who I think is really, honestly, one of the funniest men ever, said that his comic hero, called him his comic hero. That's a pretty big praise from coming from Steve Martin. And sending his tribute, he was thrilled to work with him. And there were all kinds of people, Bob Saget, Judd Apatow, Roseanne Barr, Steve Carell. They all sent really nice things about him. So he was all over the place. He was in television shows and movies and all that stuff. So he was able to do both in his life, and I loved everything I saw him in. So I've seen him in, I think, as a bad guy in a couple things, which is really kind of hard to believe, because every time you see him, you think of this happy guy. And I think he played a gay man in several things. So I can't swear to that because I'm trying to think what the name, what he would have been, but that was kind of weird. No, not weird. Just kind of what's it say? He was great in Roseanne. Oh, maybe that was probably one of the places I saw him, was Roseanne. I'm trying to think. But, happy birthday, Jen, if you're still there in the room. It's really important that my good friend Jen has a happy birthday. I guess she didn't get to go down to Virginia like she was going to. So she goes, "What are you doing Tuesday?" I said the same thing I do every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. So the other person that died was kind of, is sad, but not, it's not sad because, again, he lived to be 76. And I forgot how much I really liked him until I got our thing from Nietzsche. And I'm going to play that in a little while after this. Ken Osmond, Leave It to Beaver star, who played Eddie Haskell, dies at 76. 76. So he's actually younger than I thought he was, because I thought he was a bit older than that. Best known as his role for Eddie Haskell on the television comedy Leave It to Beaver, died on Monday morning. He was 76. I'll tell you, I watched that show religiously. I loved that show, and without a doubt, that entertained me as a kid, and into my early adulthood. I would say I probably still enjoyed it. And you always had the Beav, who was always getting in trouble, and Eddie Haskell was always the bad guy overall. I got to tell you, the things that they did with him were awesome. So, but very, very good guy. I know he probably did some other things, but the only thing I really remember him for is Leave It to Beaver. But I do have his thing. I think I brought his. I didn't do it. I usually have a Wikipedia with the stuff. Just out of curiosity, let's see what else he did. So, let's see. I thought I did this in my notes, but I'm looking here and I didn't. Okay, here we go. Let's see. What did he do? Leave It to Beaver, yes. He was typecast after Leave It to Beaver ended in 1963. He continued to make occasional appearances on television, such as Petticoat Junction. I used to watch that too, because I loved the girls on that. And I was barely old enough to like girls at that point, but I was just in love with those girls. And The Munsters, and Final Return appearance on Lassie in the episode A Matter of Seconds, as a motorcycle delivery man who offers a hitchhiking collie a lift in his sidecar. He was cast in the feature film Come On, Let's Live a Little in 1967, and with 6 You Get Egg Roll in 1968. He found himself typecast as Eddie Haskell and had difficulty finding steady work. That's what happens when you are good at what you do. You get stuck in that role, and it's kind of funny because, that's what I would think of him as every time. I would never think of him as a serious actor, and I would never think of him as, I would think of him as that comedic smart aleck. Well, this I didn't know, and you probably don't either. Says here, well, first off, it says Osmond told a radio interview, said, I was very much typecast in a death sentence. In Hollywood, you get typecast. I'm not complaining because Eddie's been too good to me, but I found work hard to come by. In 1968, I bought my first house. In 1969, I got married, and we were going to start a family. I needed a job, and I signed up for the LAPD. Could you imagine being pulled over by Eddie Haskell? He would end up like writing your ticket, and he'd end up like really being a jerk about it. Well, I'm going to make sure you get put away forever. Hey, Mr. Haskell, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just writing him a ticket, sir. It'd be funny. But he was in the LA Police Department, and grew a mustache in an effort to secure anonymity. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Okay, officer, can I get it autographed? It says on September 20th, 1980, he was struck by 5 bullets while on a foot chase with a suspected car thief. He was protected from 4 of the bullets by his bullet-resistant vest, and the 5th bullet ricocheted off his belt buckle. Man, that guy got lucky about all that stuff. It says the shooting was later dramatized in a 1992 episode of the CBS series Top Cops. Osmond applied for disability pension in 1984, but after the hearing, they denied his request with a 4-2 vote. He should have won. They should have given it to him just because he was an actor. I mean, in that case, this guy was out there protecting. He's like Batman, except he didn't have a cape or anything. So it's kind of sad that he couldn't get that. But let's see here. It says, here's an urban legend. It said in the early 70s, a story was reported that Osmond had become the rock star Alice Cooper. According to Cooper, the rumor began when a college newspaper editor asked him what kind of kid he was, to which he replied, I was obnoxious, disgusting, a real Eddie Haskell. However, the story ended up reporting that Cooper was the real Eddie Haskell, and later would tell the New York Times, the biggest rumor that ever came out about me, finally, I got a t-shirt that says, no, I'm not the real Eddie Haskell. But people still believed it. That would be funny. I think he lived a pretty interesting life if, he got a rumor from Alice Cooper and he got shot. And I mean, how many of us can say that we were shot 5 times and, 4 of them went to our bulletproof vest and the other one went to our belt buckle? Oh, man, that's funny. Well, I mean, it wasn't funny, I'm sure, for him, but, it says in early 1980s, Osmond sued an adult bookstore in Los Angeles called Le Sex Shop for selling adult videos starring Holmes. The video advertised the film featured little Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver. Osmond claimed that the film's advertising defamed him, but the trial court dismissed the case, and Osmond appealed to the California Court of Appeals, which also ruled against him, stating that there was no evidence that the owner of the bookstore was aware of the defamatory language. So he returned to acting in 1983, appeared as a game show participant and celebrity guest in Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. He returned to acting in 1983, reprising His role as Eddie Haskell in the made-for-television movie Still the Beaver, which followed adult Cleaver boys, their friends, and their families. The television movie was a success and led the rival comedy series called the New Leave It to Beaver series, which premiered the following year. The show ran 4 seasons from 84 to 89 on the Disney Channel and later moved to TBS. I'm trying to think if I ever saw that. I don't know. I don't think I did. I think I was too old. I think I was, because 84 to 89, I would have been playing in my band full time, and I don't think I even had a television at that point. Well, 80, oh, no, 80, well, let's see, I got married in 86. I did have a house, well, a place to live, and a TV. I don't think I watched it. I don't think I knew any, I don't think I watched it. He was honored by the Young Artist Foundation as a former Child Star Lifetime Achievement Award for Eddie Haskell. So, talk about being typecast, though. I mean, he seemed to do okay. And the problem is, I don't think they got residuals for the 60s shows. So he probably didn't do that well financially. Well, I mean, it's obvious because he had to work for the LAPD. But it says here he married, he had 2 sons, and following his retirement from the police force, he handled rental properties in the LA County and made occasional appearances at film festivals, collector shows, and nostalgia conventions. It says on September 18th, 2007, he filed a class action suit against the Screen Actors Guild, saying that the Screen Actors Guild collected $8 million in foreign residuals for U.S. actors, but never distributed them. In 2011, he began appearing as a celebrity spokesperson for St. Joseph Aspirin, and it says here he was the author, along with Christopher Lynch, of the book Eddie, the Life and Times of America's Preeminent Bad Boy, which published in September 2014. And the foreword was written by Jerry Mathers. So, yeah. Anyway, I think he was pretty interesting, and I definitely, like I said, I definitely found him very interesting as a child. So, and anyway, I want to play this thing that Nietzsche put together for us, and it was on him. So, I'm going to duplicate this and go here. And then I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to, there it is, okay. So,
hi everyone, this is
there you
Nietzsche.
go.
I hope everyone's doing well. So the news came down that Ken Osmond, who played the very infamous Eddie Haskell on the Leave It to Beaver for 6 seasons, had passed away at the age of 76. Very, a hard one for me in a sense, because it's like a show that my father grew up watching. He's right around their age, maybe a couple years younger. And I had been kind of watching a lot of the new Leave It to Beaver most recently. I had watched that show when I was a kid, so I started watching it again. When we got this situation that we got, you find yourself watching TV a lot. I said this kind of on my Facebook, and it really is true. Eddie Haskell has been a cultural reference for as long as I can remember. When you saw a kid sucking up in school or something like that, you'd hear a teacher who heard the kid say it, and they would comment to somebody and go, I didn't know Eddie Haskell was still in school. His character, in a lot of ways, became probably the most famous character on that show. Now, the star of the show was obviously Beaver, but they were all pretty much stars on that show. Tony Dow, who played Wally, it was really about him and Beaver being brothers and stuff. June Cleaver, she was the typical American mom that everybody loved, and Ward Cleaver was the typical American dad that everybody loved. Then you had Lumpy Rutherford. One of the things about Lumpy that was always funny is no matter how old he he always called his father Daddy, which was kind of funny. Even Lumpy's father, I believe it was Richard Deacon maybe, or something like that. He was in a lot of shows, Dick Van Dyke. He was in a lot of different type of shows, a character actor who was in so many things. But Ken Osmond, that character was definitely the most famous. His character was always up to no good, but at the same time, he was always friends with Wally, but he wasn't always the greatest friend in the world. You know, one of the funniest moments ever on that show, I'll never forget, was when Beaver and his friend Whitey were trying to debate. There was a billboard with a soup bowl, and it had the steaming hot coming out of the bowl, and they were debating if there was really soup in there. So, of course, Whitey dared Beaver to do it. That was Beaver's friend, so they never had the guts to do anything, so they always kind of put Beaver up to everything. And Beaver went in there, and he got stuck. And you see a bunch of people looking at it as the fire department's trying to get Beaver out. And Wally and his father show up, and Eddie's there with his friends. He doesn't know Wally's dad's right near Wally. And he's like, look at Wally, some stupid kid got stuck in a soup bowl. And then he notices Wally's father, and he goes, good evening, Mr. Cleaver. Some unfortunate lad is stuck inside a soup bowl. I mean, he was always a funny character. Like, as annoying as he could be sometimes, he was funny too. You know, he always referred to everybody as, what's up, Sam? He meant well in his own way, but he was always kind of obnoxious. Everybody saw right through him. I think I remember Ward Cleaver once said to his wife, that kid's so polite, it's not American or something like that, and it really was true. But in a lot of ways, that character brought out the best in the show. You talk about characters who really stand out. You know, you had Fonzie on Happy Days, who initially wasn't supposed to be the star of the show either. It just kind of happened. That's how things go down. But Ken Osmond played this character brilliantly. I had the fortune of meeting Ken Osmond probably about, I'd say, close to 20 years ago. And I can tell you right now, he was the most polite person you will ever meet. He sat there for 45 minutes. He let you talk about the show. He would laugh at some of the things you brought up. And he's just such a nice man. Nothing like his character. You could play a character that good, and you don't have any resemblance to that character in real life. And that was Ken Osmond. He was totally the opposite of his character. He was really a great guy. Very happy I got to meet him and, you know, got to see what kind of human being he was. Years later, they resurrected Leave It to Beaver. As I mentioned before, they came out with the new Leave It to Beavers. Ken Osmond was fortunate enough that both his sons were on the show, playing his sons. His sons, Eric and Christian, played his sons on the show, Freddie and Edward, but Edward was known as Bomber. Some of the things that he did would never fly today. Like, he sent Bomber away to military school because he spilled paint on the floor, or maybe grape juice, something like that, and he put him in military school. But then he besides that, he sent the other son to military school, Freddie, for something, I forget what it was, but he felt really guilty about it, and he took him out of military school. He showed that he really loved his son, and then when Bomber got kicked out of military school, Eddie was going to send him to some, like, you know, I forget what it was, but it was pretty bad where he was going to send him, and, you know, Mrs. Cleaver's trying to talk him out of it, and that's when you finally learn what Bomber's real name is. It was Edward Haskell Jr., and because usually your oldest son is Edward, not your second son. Found that out about Bomber, and then he doesn't give in, and Mrs. Cleaver says, you are impossible, you are ridiculous. But then when Bomber sees him in the living room, Eddie has a change of heart, and he decides to let Bomber stay. And Bomber goes to shake his hand, and Eddie grabs him and gives him a hug. And it was really a genuine hug, and it was just great to see. It showed you that, as obnoxious as he could be, he also did love his family, which I thought that was good that the producers did. Ken Osmond was a tremendous actor, and he's going to be missed, in my opinion, by a lot of people, especially people that got to see that show when they were young kids. And it's funny, that show never was a ratings hit, but I'll tell you what, when it went in syndication and reruns, that show was like an iconic show. To this day, it's still shown on TV. And we're talking about a show that didn't come out until 1957, a show that came out in 1957, and here we are in 2020, and the show is still going strong, and that just goes to show you how popular it is. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Ken Osmond was a terrific actor. It's a sad day for people in Hollywood. It's a sad day for anybody who followed that show. It really is. And he's going to be missed. And it's kind of sad that we have to keep calling up and remembering people that are passing away. It seems like it's happening far too often now, and you just wish that wasn't the case. But that's all I have for today. I hope everyone's doing well. Stay safe, and remember, you got to believe eventually this will pass. Let's hope. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, that was the Nietzsche on Eddie Haskell. So, like I said, I thought it was a good move. I liked his acting, and I liked his character. I loved that character because he was just so hated and just, you know, just a smart aleck. I always wanted to be in, you know, it's funny, you want to, when you're a kid, you say, oh, I want to be in that family. I want to be in that family. And I liked the Partridge Family. I wanted to be part of that family because of the musical aspect of it. They had I always wanted to be in the Brady Bunch, of course. Who didn't want to be in the Brady Bunch? And I wanted to be in Leave It to Beaver. I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that guy that... I wanted to be the Beaver, you know. But I wouldn't have minded being a Eddie Haskell either, because I just think he was the life of the show. And it's good that he's getting his comeuppance, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I want to make sure I at least talked about him because I did like the guy and thought he was very talented and very interesting. So we'll move on to the next thing. All right. I wanted to talk about... Where do I start? I don't know where to start here because I have so much stuff I wanted to do. This was kind of interesting. So... Elon Musk is in the news again, and this isn't a Tesla story, really. It's a... Sometimes you just put your Twitter out there and you get heat for it, and this is his heat that he got. Oh, I guess I gotta... sorry, I gotta take Nietzsche off because we're done with that. All right. So I kind of found this very interesting. Elon Musk is known for saying things that irritate people. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the way he always was. And they quoted something from The Matrix. So whoever Lily Wachowski is, she's from The Matrix. Lily Wachowski tells Elon Musk and Ivana Trump, F both of you, after they quote The Matrix. Now, I think it's kind of silly and kind of crazy that Lily got all upset because they didn't really, they didn't really do anything wrong per se. It's something that The Matrix had that was a quote that The Matrix created. So, all right, so on Sunday, Elon Musk tweeted that people should take the red pill. Advice that Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka retweeted with enthusiastic comment, taken. Okay, so he says, take the red pill, just on a tweet. And Ivanka says, okay, taken. Okay, you would think that would be it. There would be nothing else. There would be no repercussions of that. Well, back in 1999, the red pill was a pivotal moment in the Matrix, as Neo offered the choice to either take the blue pill and forget about the Matrix, or take the red pill and be revealed the truth, and how the Matrix has been used by machines to enslave the entire human race. Musk's comment and Ivanka's Trump approval were met with a curt reply from Wachowski, F both of you. Well, it says here, in the right-wing internet parlance, taking the red pill has become the slang for taking conservative political views. The tweet comes as Musk has begun espousing more anti-regulatory views, threatening to restart Tesla's factories in California in defiance of the state's mandated closures of business during COVID-19. He has also threatened to pull Tesla's headquarters out of California altogether, calling the stay-at-home orders fascist. A fourth Matrix film is currently in development at Warner Brothers, but while Lily Wachowski's sister Lana is returning to write and direct, she is not. What? While Lily, Lily is not coming back. Okay, yeah. Currently working on a Showtime series, work in process, which is renewed for a second season. The Matrix 4, meanwhile, is planning to resume production in July after filming was forced to stop due to the pandemic, and filming is expected to take 2 additional months to complete. So I just kind of think it's funny because I think he wasn't saying anything negative towards her movie. I mean, that take the red pill or take the blue pill has been kind of adopted in society as being okay and meaning whatever you want it to mean. So I just found it funny, but that's just me. And Elon Musk is in trouble regardless of what he says, because he always seems to get on the bad side of people. I mean, he tries to get on the bad side of people, so he's done what he set out to do. This is pretty cool. If you're an old school game player, this is interesting for you. And if you're not, it's not interesting to you. But if you're an old school game player, and I noticed they didn't have the one game that I used to play all the time, which is sad because I would have been more interested in it, because I would have loved to be able to play that game again. But it was only available for Apple, and it was, it was in 1980? So that's really old school. That's a lot older than these games here. Anyway, Virtual PC Game Box helps relive the heyday of floppies and CDs. So you can end up buying these games. If you're a gamer of a certain age, and you probably have fond memories of elaborate PC games like they once had, sometimes more memorable than the gameplay itself. I will tell you that the game